gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Years ago, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. He broke in with the Brooklyn Dodgers and changed the landscape of baseball and this country forever. And we here in Baltimore are playing a game that's different because of him. It's time for baseball as Benjamin Moore presents the Wednesday game of the week. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Al Leiter and Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. We'll talk a lot about this game tonight, but let's talk about Jackie Robinson first. The ultimate game changer, Kenny, in terms of the game and the country as well.
That's very true, Michael. Last night we celebrated Elston Howard's 60th anniversary, becoming the first African-American to play for the New York Yankees. Well, that event might not have happened if Jackie Robinson had been successful integrating baseball 8 years prior to that. Now, Jackie Robinson became an American icon not only for what he did on the field, he had a Hall of Fame career, but it was also what he had to endure while he was out there playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Indignities were heaped upon him by fans, players, and even some of his own teammates. But he stood strong, got the job done, and just to say thank you doesn't seem good enough. But that's all we've got. Mr. Robinson, thank you so much for making baseball a better game.
Now, talk about the ultimate game changer. Kenny mentioned this could not have happened unless Jackie Robinson was a great player. Played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, won the Rookie of the Year the first year, and then 2 years later the National League MVP, and in 1962 he went to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And Al, I'll tell you what, Branch Rickey had to choose the right guy. Because if he chose a guy that didn't succeed on the field, then the thing could have been a failed experiment.
You know, Michael, and I like what Branch Rickey said when he said to have the courage to not fight back. You think about that, guys, back then. But I think how great this has been since the ex-commissioner, Bud Selig, enacted this day for every player to wear 42 in honor of this great man and what he meant to this game, not only for a player of color and what it meant to what Kenny was describing, but for players to know the history of what this man was all about. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool is right, and now we have a baseball game tonight as well. As I told you, the specter of this baseball game changed because of Jackie Robinson. Tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Bud Norris gets a start for the Orioles, and for the Yankees, it's Nathan Eovaldi. Hey, we've got a baseball game. Yankees against the O's. Who's going to win this series? Yankees won the first one. Orioles won the second one. Who wins the third and the series? When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next, right here on Yes. on Yes is brought to you in part by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com or your local dealer today. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. By RE/MAX. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. And by your Tri-State BMW Centers. That's a beautiful night here in Baltimore. The Orioles have taken the field. So why don't we take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that Bud Norris is going to face in the starting lineup presented, as always, by our good friends at Lexus. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field will lead off, batting second, playing third, Chase Headley. Carlos Beltran's in right field. He'll hit third, cleaning up first baseman Mark Teixeira. Brian McCann's behind the plate. He'll bat fifth, batting sixth and DHing Alex Rodriguez. Stephen Drew at second base will bat seventh, batting eighth, playing left field Chris Young. And Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, is going to bat ninth.
On the mound for the Orioles, Bud Norris. Traded a couple years ago from the Houston Astros, a 30-year-old right-hander. 6th-round draft pick by the Astros in 2006. See his first start, not good. The 3 innings and 8 runs. Let's take a look at the Pitcher Scout Report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Career year, last year really was for the Orioles. 15 wins, a 3.65 ERA in the 165 innings and 28 game start. Good versus bombers. First time he ever faced the Yankees was last year. And in those 4 starts, he was 4-0 with a 2.74 ERA. Very respectable, a 2.05 batting average against. And loves the yard. I had to put this in here, Kenny, because this is not a pitcher-friendly ballpark, especially during the summertime. Last year, home, he was 8-2 with a 2.44 ERA. And that 2.44 ERA at the Camden Yards is the lowest ERA for any pitcher in a single season in the history of this ballpark with a minimum of 10-game start.
Let's check out the Oriole defense behind Norris, and it's presented by Geico. David Lowe gets his first start of the series. He's in left, Adam Jones in center, and Alejandro De Aza in right. In the infield, it's Machado, Cabrera, Scope, and Davis. That's third to first. Behind the plate, Caleb Joseph. And Al told you all you need to know about Bud Norris on the mound.
That home record kind of tells me either pitched a lot when the wind was blowing in or he got a lot of ground balls, one or the other.
Or April and September.
Yeah.
Oh, it is hot in most ballparks around the country. Ball flies, but this is a hitter-friendly park.
Yeah, he did do a very good job. Maybe concentrated more in this park.
All right, Jacoby Ellsbury digs into the left-handed batter's box. Bud Norris is ready. And let's do it here in Baltimore. First pitch, a strike, and we're underway. Sean Barber is the home plate umpire. Eric Cooper at first, Lance Barksdale at second, and Gary Cederstrom is over at third. Defense straight away for Ellsbury, one of the few players that doesn't get shifted on in the Yankee lineup. And the reason is he uses the whole field.
I'll tell you what, if he wants it, he's got Manny Machado standing back. Now, we haven't seen Ellsbury bunt all that often. But every once in a while, you take a look. I know Machado's great at charging, has a strong arm, but it's almost as if Machado is challenging Ellsbury to lay down a bunt, saying, I can get you.
Well, this would be a good time as any, right, Kenny?
Well, he's ahead on the count now. He can also put you up 1-0 if he gets something he really likes.
I mean, in the sense of you
yeah,
calling out where Machado is, you got a fast runner in Ellsbury.
Even if you fake one, you might bring him in, and that might help you later. You slash one by him.
Missed outside.
See, now I'm not thinking about bunt. You know, it's 3-1. As you said, Al, this is a home run hitting park. You're leading off the game. You might get a cookie right down the middle.
Strike. Ellsbury thought it was ball 4. Let to pick up the bat. Never make a friend with an umpire doing that.
Well, you're right about that, Michael. Knee high.
Saw a little sink on that fastball. That's borderline.
And the payoff. Grounded to first. Davis takes it himself. One away. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Said it's a nice night. 66 degrees. Not much wind. Humidity 19%. Partly cloudy, but good baseball weather.
You know, I was saying how well that Bud Norris pitched in this park. He also pitched very well against the American League East. He was 9-1 against Eastern Division teams last year. And you get somebody on a roll like that. Andy Pettit used to do that. Just bore through the Eastern Division.
He also likes pitching to Joseph, Caleb Joseph. He was 11-2 with a 3.19 in his 17 starts with Joseph behind the plate last year. With other catchers, 4-6, 4.38.
I mean, that's pretty discernible difference, Michael. You're 11-2 with an ERA a little over 3 in the 17 starts, as you said, and not even close.
Did you have a favorite catcher, Al?
I had a few. I liked Mike Piazza.
Mm-hmm.
I caught my own game in so many ways, Kenny, that yes, I relied on my catcher, but I
just thrown to the glove.
Kind of was in that little. Yeah, that's right. Usually your backup catchers were fun to throw it in.
You know, you always used to hear criticism of Mike Piazza as a catcher, and you've told me he received the ball very well. The only problem, he didn't have a great arm throwing out base runners, but you like that 3-run home run that he could hit too.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding? I think, that what are we impressed with as a catcher? You're impressed with being able to control a running game and throw guys out. What I thought Piazza did well was he identified the pitcher's strength or his out pitches and called a good game. He did.
You know, part of controlling the running game falls upon the pitcher, not only the catcher. In fact, it starts with the pitcher.
Yeah, as the story came out, right, with John Lester and the Cubs, first time he threw over in how many years?
The 2-2. Strike 3. Hadley down looking. 2-away.
There's that backdoor little slider. Fastball slider mostly from Bud Norris. Sits at about 93 or 4 as we've been watching. That's a good slider, and he's able to control it on both sides of the plate. That pitch is meant to do exactly what happened, give up pitch.
Well, the previous pitch set it up. Fastball in to make the hitter think inside, then give up on the pitch away that drops over the corner. Just nice sequence there for Bud Norris.
Beltran takes a strike. Carlos has gotten off to a slow start, and the hitting coach Jeff Pentland said he's just not used to struggling. He's always been a great hitter, and it's starting to creep into his mind. He said, I'm not filling his head with too many fixes or anything like that. I'll let him come out of it. He said, but he's just not used to struggling, and it's startling to him.
Well, he's 1 for 8 in this series, and that one came last night. Hit a nice double off the wall in right center.
1-1. There's a strike.
You know, one thing I've said, and I'll see if Al agrees with me, when you watch hitters, and even when they're struggling, you watch how they make their routes. If they start to hit the ball a little harder, eventually these are going to start to fall in.
Grounded to what should be short. Machado, the throw pulls Davis off the bag, but he tags Beltran on the way by. Score that a 5-3. Bad throw, great tag by Davis. Yankees go down in order. Orioles come to bat. Nathan Eovaldi. Alejandro Diaz is in right field, and he is going to lead off. Everett Cabrera, the shortstop, will bat second. Adam Jones in center field hits third. Cleaning up the DH, Travis Snyder. Chris Davis at first base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing third base, Manny Machado. Caleb Joseph behind the plate, batting seventh. The number 8 hitter is the left fielder David Lowe. And Jonathan Scope at second base will bat ninth.
Nathan Eovaldi, the 25-year-old right-hander, 2008 11th round draft pick by the Los Angeles Dodgers from Alvin High School, Alvin, Texas. There's another flamethrower from Alvin, Texas, Nolan Ryan. You see his numbers in that first start. Let's take a look at the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Great arm, no question about it. Tied for third with the highest velocity last year with Willie Peralta for qualified starters. Improve off-speed pitches. That's it. I mean, he's got a plus arm. He's got a slider, a little curveball, and a split finger that he's developed. We'll talk about that tonight. And then first inning woes. In 80 career starts, his ERA is 5.96, almost a 6 ERA. After that, in the starts, a 3.65. It's one of the. As soon as I saw that, Ken, I'm thinking a feel. What's working? What to get in the rhythm and flow of his start.
Developing as a pitcher.
Yes.
As opposed to just throwing the ball.
Yes.
Now, Eovaldi was the starting pitcher Friday, the game that won 19 innings.
Huh?
There's a strike. In that game, he threw a pitch 100.6 miles per hour, and you rounded off to 101. And the first Yankee to reach that velocity on any pitch since Jabba did it in September of 2007.
That was the pitch that Pedroia hit for an opposite field single.
.101.
The only other pitchers who have reached triple figures velocity-wise this season are all relievers. Aroldis Chapman, 101.6. Pittsburgh's Archimedes Caminero, as De Aza goes down on a breaking ball. And also Baltimore's Kevin Gausman and Kansas City's Kelvin Herrera. Let's check the defense behind Eovaldi. It's presented by Geico. Young, Ellsbury, and Beltran left to right in the outfield. Infield, it's Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Teixeira third and first. Brian McCann's behind the plate, and Nathan Eovaldi is on the mound.
You know, I like what I saw just there to De Aza because he got 2 strikes on him, finishing off with a sharp breaking ball. Against Boston, he gave up 8 hits. 6 of them was after the hitter had 2 strikes. So you got to finish hitters off.
Grounded past the diving Headley and into left field. So Everett Cabrera with a single.
There's that draw on the third baseman in, Kenny. If you deke or the defense thinks that you may bunt, that cut down on the angle. Watch the angle here. Respecting the bunt. Cabrera slaps it by Headley. Increasing the chances, obviously, of getting a base hit, as he just did.
Now, the Yankees made the trade for Eovaldi because he has filthy stuff. They felt that they could teach him another pitch and really make him a good pitcher. But when you see a guy who throws 100 miles an hour, and then you see this, 80 major league starts Eovaldi's had. He's 15-35. And that's the fewest wins for any pitcher in big league history through his first 80 starts of his career. It's hard to explain, but it does tell you, Al, it's not always about velocity.
Well, we saw it last night, right, guys? When Miguel Gonzalez didn't throw a ball over 91 miles an hour, 7 innings, did a great job, 10 strikeouts against the Yankees. No, exactly. And Ken, I'm sure you could talk to this. If you can eliminate secondary pitches or they're not put away, as he did to De Aza in the first batter, you just look fastball. And unless it's got unbelievable movement and sink and late action, you kind of eliminate pitches.
Yeah, these hitters do not get to the big leagues unless they can hit a fastball. That's number one. You know, you see hitters that certainly have problems with a curveball. Everybody has problems with a good changeup. But everybody, if you get a fastball towards the middle, no matter how hard you're throwing it, they can usually turn it around.
If you've eliminated the other pitches.
Exactly.
If there's ever a doubt as to whether in a 2-0 count, is there anything but Adam Jones thinking fastball here?
It's, and this is a dangerous pitch because he's been really hot lately.
So now if he does have the ability to throw an off-speed pitch for a strike, there's a heater. But it's 96. But that was a good hack.
Yep.
Why don't we take a look at the Honda League leaders? And this is about RBIs early in the season, and Adam Jones is at the top of the list. He's got 11. 3 are tied with 9.
Yeah, he's been red hot. He's homered in each one of the first 2 games of this series.
Well, he's not a good player. He's a great player. 3 years in a row there, you see the pickoff play by Eovaldi. Teixeira slapping the tag. I mentioned this last night, guys, with his statistics since 2012. And I did mention McCutchen and Trout, but if you look at other than average home runs, RBIs, and runs, he's right there.
High fly ball left field. Chris Young makes the play for the second out. Cabrera heads back to first.
That was a just missed. He's putting good swings on just about everything, and this was a hanger up about belt height, and you see his reaction. He knows he just missed it. So Eovaldi got away with one to a hot hitter.
Now to your question, Michael, a guy averaging as he is third highest in baseball velocity, occasionally and not often, you don't want to throw that hanger as Ken just showed on the replay, but you can get away with it as a result of guys having to respect and honor 95 to 100 mile an hour fastball.
You don't want to try and make a living doing that.
No doubt. But if it's an 88 mile an hour fastball guy, that ball's maybe out of the park.
Yeah, somebody's got a souvenir.
Yep.
Count 2-0 on Snyder.
Yeah, this is a night for Brian McCann, too, to kind of get him through this. A veteran catcher.
There's a base hit to right field. Cabrera on second and go to third. Snyder with a single. First and third. 2 men out.
This one kind of sits in the middle of the plate. And it's a ground ball. Had a little sink to it, but Snyder got on top of it. A little overspin. Got it through the infield. And Cabrera goes to third. You see, if it was on a corner, that'd been a better pitch. It was towards the middle of the plate, and you can get the barrel of the bat on it. It's a matter of how hard you hit it.
And Stephen Drew playing shift for Snyder to pull. Playing in the hole, as he is here against Davis.
Now Davis usually hits cleanup, but Buck Showalter's dropped him back because he's been as hot as Adam Jones has been. Davis has been that cold. He's 0 for 7 in the series with 6 strikeouts, but he's still dangerous.
6 strikeouts against the Yankees so far. 0 for 7. That's in this series. First and third. Bottom of the first. Just underway here in Baltimore. Two and one.
That's a good pitch right there. A couple fastballs in a fastball count. Even though Chris Davis has struggled and has a lot of strikeouts early on, this is a pull the string. That kind of a slurve break, but more curveball speed. Good pitch.
There's a base hit to right field. Cabrera scores. Snyder will stop at second. It's an RBI single for Davis. It's 1-0 O's.
Well, you were talking about first inning earned run average. Let's see what the pitch is. Again, it's kind of centered. And even with the struggles, Davis can hit it.
Well, the scouting report on Davis is, struggling. It's middle. You see, he has a tough time body line. Inside, you see the way he has these high hands. He drops his hands. That is right down the middle. You come in, you got to come in hard above the belt.
Machado takes a strike. Driven the other way and out of play.
Machado is one of the names that, after this offseason, the loss of Nelson Cruz and Markakis, thinking a healthy full season Machado's, they're going to get that offense back from him when Matt Wieters comes back.
Man, he started off slowly, 0 for 15, but he's 3 for 8 in the series and put together a 3-game hitting streak. So maybe, he's starting to turn it around, and I think that's why Buck Showalter has him batting further down in the lineup this year. He wants to get production, RBIs from Manny Machado. We're used to seeing him batting second.
Two and two on Machado. Two. Strike 3. Machado down looking. Got him with a breaking ball. But the O's score a run on 3 hits. 2 men left. We go to the second. 1-0 Orioles.
Time now for tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. As we see, Brett Gardner again not in the lineup after getting hit by a pitch on his right wrist in the first game of the series. He said earlier today at his locker that he is available to pinch run or go play defense late in the game if the situation would dictate, but he said he is encouraged that the wrist is feeling dramatically better from yesterday, and he said in the event that he didn't have some improvement, they would potentially potentially send him to get an MRI in Tampa, but right now they don't feel like that's going to be the case. Friday, they're looking at that as the day that he could potentially come back. But there are some other notes as far as injuries are concerned, guys. Ivan Nova took a very big step in his rehab. He threw batting practice for the first time since having Tommy John surgery last year. I talked to Larry Rothschild about that. He said everything went well there. The next step for him will be to do that again on Friday. Also, Chris Capuano is expected to throw a bullpen in coming days. And there is one pitching change up here that has been made, one roster move. Brandon Pinder, the right-handed pitcher, has been recalled from AAA. Joel De La Cruz has been optioned to AA Trenton.
Thank you, Meredith. I'll tell you what, Nova, what a wild card that is. This is not just another pitcher. He could be an outstanding pitcher if he comes back from that surgery. Remember the year he won 16 games for them. That would be some addition. Count 2-1 on Teixeira. And also, this is a results business. Let's say you get Nova and Capuano back. Well, two guys have to leave the rotation. And that might make the bullpen better, too.
Yeah. More options.
The 2-2. Missed outside, 3-2. Orioles lead 1-0.
You know, Bud Norris did not have a very good spring. They said he worked a lot on his changeup. Maybe
gets the fastball by Teixeira.
Maybe too much so, as he strikes out Mark Teixeira. But you know he has confidence coming in against the Yankees. He went 4-0 against the Yankees last year.
Al, did you care when you were 30 about any spring training results?
The last couple I did. At least you wanted to feel good leaving spring training. I don't know how you work, Kenny, but you mentioned about the changeup. Last year, of all of his pitch breakdown, he threw to the changeup 9% of the time.
McCann, sky-high pop-up right side. Scope makes the play.
So, Michael, good question, because as you become more established, and Bud Norris is one of them, he's been around the big leagues now several years, that you have the luxury as that pitcher to work on things. And if it was his intention to perfect his changeup to be better, so that he's not just primarily a fastball slider pitcher, but now an integrated part of his repertoire, you don't care about the numbers in spring. You really don't. You do want to feel good leaving Florida or Arizona those last couple games.
Alex Rodriguez fouls it back.
Trying to go big fly first pitch.
Oh, my goodness.
I like it. Aggressive, swing it.
He might have landed on Pratt Street. That's a couple blocks away from here.
Alex did not start last night's game. Ended it by pinch hitting. So with this start, he's played in every game so far for the Yanks. And a strike, 0-2.
See Alex asking home plate umpire Sean Barber, did he get it on the swing or the pitch? He said the pitch. That looked outside.
We haven't seen much of Sean Barber. He's one of the new umpires. He might be an Al Leiter umpire. One of those pitcher umpires.
I'd be watching, even if I was sitting in the dugout now, and you want to know if the umpires, which side of the plate are they? Will they expand? Take advantage of it.
Would you ask another pitcher?
I would ask Alex if that ball was outside.
No. I mean, if the guy pitching on your team, would you go up to him and ask him, "How's this umpire? Is he giving you?"
Oh yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah. But now they have, they're on the computer.
Yeah,
the umpires of, the days of favoritism or expanding periodically is out.
Alex almost doing an Adrian Beltre there, going down on one knee. Beltre's done that once this year already. Hit one out of the park while down on one knee.
Well, the pitch before he swung fell on one knee and then missed.
Didn't get it.
Yeah, and the next one he hit it out.
That one's lined into right field. A base hit for A-Rod. First hit of the night for the Yankees, a 2-out single here in the second.
It's a nice 2-out hit. When he got jammed a bit, but he's strong enough to get it over the infielders into the outfield. In this situation, that slider,
yes,
right in the middle, and just fought it off and hit it the other way. 2-out base hit.
I just like that first swing coming out, swinging hard and getting after it.
Remember Jim Codd used to say, 1 to get loose and 2 to produce.
Here's Stephen Drew. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up behind the plate and out of play.
One thing I've noticed about Stephen Drew, and his swing is a lot like his brothers, J.D. And they're unusual for left-handed hitters because they're both pretty good high ball hitters. Left-handed hitters have a tendency to like the ball down, but both of them, the home run he hit here the other night was a pitch that was up and out over the plate, and that seems to be the one he can hammer the best.
Got good numbers against Norris, 7 for 19 and a home run. That's good for 368. One and two.
Good pitch by Bud Norris. Couple fastballs and then throws this changeup. This is the effectiveness of a good change. Looks like a fastball, except it's in this case 5, 6, 7 miles an hour slower. Good pitch.
And the 1-2. He struck him out. 3 strikeouts for Norris in the second. No runs a hit and 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 O's.
.42 on my back and go out and play in his honor means everything.
Play on Jackie Robinson's day, it means a lot, because he break the barrier, for all the color player to go play. So it's just amazing that he went there and gave us the opportunity to play baseball.
Well, we thought we'd start initially with CC and DD, as many players will talk about what Jackie Robinson has meant to them. And I'll mention this during the Open. The fact that we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day, it makes the players know the history and what the man meant. And I think that's so important. Because a lot of players don't have that in their reservoir. They're out playing all the time as kids and not studying the history of the game. But they have to know what this man meant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's such a great baseball national holiday, if you will. And as you just described it, Michael, I love the fact that the baseball players today have to be aware of what Jackie Robinson meant.
Well, the Dodgers retired number 42 in 1972. Then in 1997, the 50th anniversary of breaking the color barrier, everyone was made aware of Jackie Robinson Day. And then since 2009, Everyone wears 42 on this day.
And of course, Mariano Rivera, the last active player to wear that number. And when Mo retired, nobody else. We're going to go to our hitter scouting report, the Jeep hitter scouting report on Jackie Robinson. As we mentioned earlier, in 1947, he went on to become the Rookie of the Year. In 1949, he had a heck of a season for the Dodgers as they won the pennant, and he was the MVP. Now, in 1955, that's the only year, as you watch Headley go down the line in foul territory and make the nice catch. 1955, the Dodgers won their only World Series. Now, Jackie Robinson played in 6 World Series in his 10-year career with the Dodgers. All 6 of those were against the New York Yankees, and they only won 1. That was 1955. And Jackie Robinson brought a speed and daring to the game of baseball that had not, for the most part, been seen to that point, and maybe not since. 19 times he stole home in his career. Pitchers, you really worried about him on the bases.
And you mentioned in the open too. I mean, this guy was such a dynamic player, and Yogi to this day said that he was out, but it's amazing what the man went through.
Yeah.
And not just from fans and opponents, but sometimes from his own teammates.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't very welcoming. In fact, the Dodgers, some of the players during spring training, when they got wind that Jackie Robinson might be joining the team, some of them wanted to strike. They didn't want to play.
Boycott the games.
Yeah, and Branch Rickey, I think the manager was Leo DeRosa, wasn't it? And Leo said, you guys better get used to it because he's coming. He's a good player and he can help us win.
And they got rid of the players that really made it tough on him. And a local guy, Rob Branca, is one of the guys who embraced him and made it easier on him.
And Pee Wee Reese, right?
Yep. A game in Cincinnati where they were really hurling a lot of ugly, ugly words his way. Pee Wee Reese, who grew up in Kentucky, went up to him and put his arm around him on the field, and that sent the clear message.
Yeah, for those fans out there who might not have seen the movie 42, it came out a few years ago, but I would say rent that movie, watch it. And I remember talking to Don Zimmerman, who's now the late Don Zimmerman. Don said the movie gave you an idea of what went on, but he said they could have made it a lot worse.
Jonathan Scope with a 2-out walk.
Zimmer was Jackie Robinson's teammate with the Dodgers.
So in 1997, they retired 42 forever, as we mentioned, and since 2009, it's really cool that every player who plays in a game on April 15th wears number 42. Kind of renders scorecards useless, but here is Alejandro De Aza, who struck out in the first inning. And a strike.
Now, from what I understand, of course, 47 was a long time ago, but Bert Schotten was technically the first manager.
Because Leo got suspended.
Yeah, he did. But Leo did return to manage the Dodgers.
Swing and a miss. De Aza down on strikes, and the putout is made at first. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left, 2 in the books. 1-0 O's. presidential hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. What current Major League Baseball players do you think best embody the spirit of Jackie Robinson, and why? And it's Whit said Robinson Cano. He realizes that being named after Jackie is an honor, and he is carrying that torch quite well. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. And a strike to Chris Young as we begin the third inning. Young has gotten off to a good start, and he's stepping in left field with Brett Gardner missing this game. And as Meredith told you, the Yankees are hoping that he'll be able to play Friday in St. Pete against the Rays.
Yeah, Chris Young has a 4-game hitting streak going.
Right. He's done a good job since coming over last year. The Mets got rid of him, and of his 26 hits since being a Yankee, 15 of them been extra base hits, 5 of them home runs.
Fly ball shallow center. Scope makes the play. Here's Didi Gregorius. What we've noticed from Didi early on, and Kenny, I wonder if you agree, boy, his swing is very long, very loopy.
Yeah, it's more like you'd see from a 3 or 4 hitter in a lineup. Somebody who gets paid to hit 25, 30 home runs.
Also, if you swing like that, you're going to get fooled a lot, too.
Yeah, well, there's an example right there. I think to maximize his offense in a situation like this, you got to learn how to bunt. I haven't seen him even think about it, just in the early going here. And, he's got decent speed. I'm not saying he's a burner. But if you're the type of hitter who can get maybe one bunt base hit every week to 10 days, that adds up over the course of the year. And it kind of is a slump buster.
Strike 3. Gregorius down looking.
Well, the thing that comes out to me, guys, 26 at bats, not 27 at bats. He has 1 walk. You just saw what Bud Norris did. Yeah. Slider, first pitch, big swing, as you said, Michael. He had 6 home runs last year in Arizona, 7 the previous year. He's not a home run hitter. That's not his role or position on the lineup.
You have to get your OBP up. You have to get your on base percentage up, or else you better be making every single play defensively.
Jacoby Ellsbury scorches one to center. Going back, Jones. It's going to be over his head and up against the wall. Ellsbury with a double.
Well, Adam Jones has been known to play shallow center field, but primarily he does that because he goes back so well on the ball. But this one had too much steam on it. This had the sound coming off the bat of Jacoby Ellsbury that it was hit very well, and even Adam Jones, a 4-time Gold Glover, could not run it down. So Ellsbury's now had at least 1 hit in a game for a week, a 7-game hitting streak. That's pretty nice.
Here's Chase Headley with a runner at second. 2 men out. Headley struck out looking in the first. That's the first of 4 strikeouts for Norris.
Ellsbury's first extra base hit of the year.
Norris got his name. He was sitting with his family when he was a little kid, and all the adults ordered beer, and they asked him what he wanted. He said Bud. Thank goodness he didn't ask for Dos Equis or Stella. That would be his name, but he's Bud Norris ever since then. Count 2-1.
Now, how old are we talking here?
I think it was like 5.
Yeah, well, you know, you have a tendency to want what everybody else wants. He's been moving that fastball around from corner to corner. And we saw an example of that last night with Miguel Gonzalez, who had about 4 pitches working very well for him. And just mixed him up superbly against the Yankees.
Well, this is where when you become more of a veteran kind of mindset and slow the game down. Behind in the count to Headley. Norris is thrown off speed. This is a fastball count.
Base open though.
Base open. Yeah, see that's semi pitch around him. 2 outs. I'll just lay one in there. He throws slider inside. Headley held up.
I've mentioned time and time again that the 2-out hits are the ones that get a team going. The Yankees have been swinging the bats better. I will say that the last 3 games or so. But this might be the last piece of the puzzle here. Get this guy going. Good take. Good take to get ahead on the count. Not be too anxious. Beltran's been around for a long time. He's driven in well over 1,300 runs in his career. He knows what it's like to be in these situations. It's just a matter of getting the job done. He's not overmatched. I will say that. You do feel pressure when you haven't been hitting, but he's been through this before.
That one is drilled into right center field. Long run for everybody. That ball's off the top of the wall. Ellsbury scores. They're sending home Headley. He will score. It's a 2-run double for Carlos Beltran, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Well, that piece seemed to fit nicely into the puzzle. As Carlos Beltran, ahead on the count, got something centered. Maybe moving a little bit away, and he drills it. This didn't miss a home run by much. Wow. Right on top of the wall, and it comes back. But still a double, 2 runs, and the Yankees have the lead. Remember, Beltran hit a double here last night. Maybe starting to get his act together and being productive. He has 3 runs batted in the last 2 nights, and this one isn't over.
Here's Mark Teixeira. A big 2-run double for Beltran as the Yankees take the lead. So David Stephen Norris gives up his first runs of the game. Kind of a wave through that pitch, 1-1.
You know, you mentioned, Kenny, about the 2-out hits, and Beltran hadn't struggled up to Really, that at bat. I mean, you talk about a big hit early in this game. The 2 runs the Yankees had.
Grounded softly right side. And the play is made at first by Cabrera for the final out. But the Yankees take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 left. April 15th, 1927, Babe Ruth hits the first home run of his historic 60 home run season. Babe's from Baltimore. And Kenny, I don't know if it's an apocryphal story, but they say that the tavern that his dad owned actually was situated in what is center field right here.
Yeah, it's and I think he was born a few blocks away from here in the they call them row houses here in Baltimore.
It's his museum now. It's the Babe Ruth Museum.
Yeah, that's true. I've been there.
So the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. Headley in at third for Everett Cabrera. And there's a strike.
Is it the Brome building? Is it the Brome?
Bromo Seltzer?
Bromo Seltzer Tower.
Now, they used to be able to see that tower from the ballpark, but then they built a big hotel and kind of blocked it.
You know, and there used to be a big blue bottle of Bromo Seltzer on top of the tower, but they took it down. It became too dangerous. You know, they didn't want it falling off onto somebody on the street.
Good idea. That would cause indigestion.
Yeah.
Audi A3 scoreboard, 2-1 Yankees lead.
Maybe a headache, too.
Swing and a miss. Cabrera down on strikes. Put out is at first.
Now, it's interesting because in his last start, Eovaldi, despite having 27 called strikes, a high in his career, only had 1 strikeout in the game. Now, tonight, we're not through the 3rd inning. He's got 5 strikeouts already.
4 swinging.
Yeah, and he's mixing his pitches out. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but he's using the breaking ball very well.
Curveball, 2 split changeups, and a slider to Cabrera.
Here's Adam Jones. He did not go, according to Eric Cooper. 1-0. One of the things the Orioles set upon doing in spring training, they have a lot of guys that hit the ball out. But they also have a lot of guys, in the past they have, that have low on-base percentages. They hired a new hitting coach, and he was preaching all spring. Take pitches, work the count, get on base so the home runs are 3-run home runs rather than solo shots. And the new hitting coach is Scott Coolbaugh. And he also has a unique preaching aspect that he gives to the hitters. He said, don't look at it as an at-bat. Win the pitch. And then win the next pitch. He said, if you win enough pitches, you'll win the at-bat. But don't think of it as an at-bat. It's pitch by pitch. And I say that to you, Al, because I know that was your mantra as a pitcher. Execute the pitch and then worry about the next one.
You know what? And if guys, when players are in that mode, and there's Scott Coolbaugh, also was the hitting coach in the minor leagues for Chris Davis from Texas.
That's one reason why he's here.
But that's it. And if you could get to that moment, Michael, you're zoned in, you're locked in, you're in the moment, and that's what it is. It really is. If you can stay there. This is the pitch right here. Evaldi's going to make a pitch. Adam Jones, he's got a play. There's a plan here, and they're pages of a book. And the execution or not. He wanted to go high fastball, missed, and then here's the next pitch, and so on. That's when you're locked in as a player.
They play Jones to pull. Headley deep and close to the line at third. That one's chopped up the middle. Gregorius bobbles, and it's an E6. This is not the way the Yankees or Gregorius envisioned his start to the season.
Yeah, even if he wasn't hitting, his reputation coming to the Yankees was being a good fielder.
A great fielder.
And well, you're right. But once you see, he reaches and the ball pops out of the glove. They gave him a hit.
Oh my. I mean, this is the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Some home cooking, maybe?
Yes. Unlike last night, right?
I mean, the ball's in the glove, and he can't make the transfer.
That's a questionable call. Maybe the official score is a little jumpy because Buck got on them last night for giving
he did.
Alejandro De Azda an error on that. What could have been a double by Teixeira.
Yeah, I heard that on the radio on the way home.
Travis Snyder with a 1-0 count. Throw to first. In time. Now, Meredith, you have some more on Didi because Girardi spoke about the shortstop struggles.
He did, Michael, and he was asked whether or not he thinks some of the early pressure was getting to Didi Gregorius, and he said, look, let's not forget that he's just 25 years old. This was the first time he was there for a big league opening day lineup. There's an adjustment period when you come to a new team, and shortstop isn't exactly the easiest position to handle either. He's essentially the captain of the infield. He has a lot of responsibility out there, and it hasn't even been 2 weeks, so he's not really jumping to conclusions quite yet. And Didi Gregorius kind of had the same sentiment, saying it's not how you start, it's how you end the season, and that's the way I'm going to look at things right now. I'm feeling comfortable here.
That one's driven to center field. Ellsbury is there, and he retires Snyder. I'll tell you what, guys, every person in this country should have a boss like Joe Girardi. Joe will never throw a player under the bus. He'll never really overtly criticize him. He'll always spin it to make the player look better, and a player really has to appreciate that.
We have a boss like that.
Well, yeah, but everybody should.
Oh, okay. And he's got your back.
Well,
wow,
what?
Listen to you. Is that a rip and flip?
No. I'm sorry. You were talking about flip? No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, as a manager, I think of managers that would say something critical that would just add fuel to the fire. It's dumb. Your manager, that's not the place for your manager to do that. You let the writers and everybody watching to make their opinions and do whatever the analysis is that you do for sports as we watch this. So it's, Joe Girardi does the right thing. And you respect that as a player for a guy that, quote unquote, has your back. Then, as you say, Michael, throw you under the bus. That's just dumb.
But there are some managers / coaches in other sports that will use the media to get to the player because it's not getting through to the player the way it's happening. I mean, your initial thing is not to throw the player under the bus.
Well, that's true. And I think at my very early part of my baseball career, Billy Martin would make comments about a player in the press, and then you had to answer to it. And that, I guess, was a way of occasionally for Billy to put a little spark under it.
Now, I played for a manager here in Baltimore he didn't use the press. He'd scream at you right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And that's Earl Weaver, who's in the Hall of Fame. And the players knew it. You could scream at him too if you wanted. He didn't mind. It was just about winning the ball game that day. And there's a lot of times he screamed at me, and I'd scream right back and just leave me alone. And of course, I deserved it.
But you respect that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if he's going to get square up with you and say it in front of your face, well, I'll take that.
Not in front of my face. Everybody.
No, but I'm saying it as opposed to behind closed doors, where you didn't hear it.
A lot of dugout confrontations. And not so much with me. I'm just saying it happened.
All right, so that's going to release Jones at first. 3-2 count on Chris Davis, who had an RBI single right in the first. And now a 3-2 count. Shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side. Swing and a miss. Got him. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 3 in the books. 2-1 Yanks. These showdowns as the Orioles take on the Red Sox, followed by the Yankees squaring off against the Rays. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Big Saturday. Brian McCann will lead off the 4th.
Kind of a neat scene before the game. Brian McCann went over to shake hands with Buck Showalter because Brian McCann's dad, Howie, was a teammate of Buck Showalter's at Mississippi State. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lincoln scoreboard 2-1 Yankees here in the 4th inning. Now in Mississippi State, Buck Showalter was William Nathaniel Showalter. He was not Buck.
William Nathaniel
Showalter.
And who's on Bud? What's Bud's name again?
Bud's name is David Steffen. Now you might wonder how Buck got his name. Do you know that, Al?
No.
When he was in the minor leagues, I think he showered like 5 times a day. He'd take BP and shower and do something else and shower. And he was always walking out of the shower, and one of the coaches said, "You're always buck naked." And he became Buck Showalter.
There's nothing like being clean.
And the 3-1. Deep drive, left center, low back. On the track, he makes the play.
McCann gave that a pretty good ride. One thing David Lowe brings to the Orioles as he comes off the disabled list, he's a good outfielder. Good range, and he ran that one down. Looked like it might have had a chance to get in the gap.
A-Rod takes the ball, 1-0. Single to right in the second inning. Norris had retired the first 5 Yankees, so that was the first Yankee base runner. Alex has a lot of rosin on top of that helmet.
He's at a good count now. The first at bat, Alex had a healthy cut on the first 2 pitches, fastballs. Here's second time around, Bud Norris. Slider and then cutter. Let's see if he attacks here. Fastball away.
Drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run for Alex Rodriguez. And the Yankees lead 3-1. Oh, did he hit that?
One of the keys to being a home run hitter is to get ahead on counts and then look for something in your zone and don't miss it. This one was squared up. You know, Alex has hit some home runs this spring. This is his second one of the season. He had 3 in spring training. But this is the one he hit the best. That is a long shot. He knew it right away. You hit it, and you're looking for the bat boy to take your bat.
Here's Stephen Drew. Pitches high.
That was a bomb, guys. I mean, that was well struck.
That was up by the walkway up there.
2-0 fastball down the middle. I'm telling you, that first at bat, good aggressive swings.
And a strike to Drew. For Alex, he now has 656 home runs. And that's the all-time home run list. 4 away from Willie Mays. High fly ball, center field. Adam Jones is there. And he also moves up on the all-time runs scored list. And he ties his old teammate Derek Jeter. They both have 1,923 runs scored. Ricky Henderson is number 1 with 2,295.
That's a lot of crossing home plate. Now, if you just stood out there, come out one afternoon and try and run around the bases, 2,000, what was Ricky Henderson?
2,295.
How long would it take you?
And Alex, if he stays healthy, is going to get 3,000 hits this year as well.
Yeah, 2,000 runs batted in, too. That's something only 2 other players have done, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron.
It's 156 miles.
Really?
Yeah, that's a little more than a marathon.
So Ricky's the mileage champion, huh?
Ground ball to third. Machado across the diamond and gets Young, and that'll do it. But Alex Rodriguez sends one into orbit. It's about as long a home run as you'll see hit to left field here at Camden Yards. When it came down, it was 3-1 Yanks. paint like no other. For a store near you, go to BenjaminMoore.com. I would go to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Yankees have given Nathan Eovaldi a 3-1 lead. Manny Machado will lead off. 1-0. Lincoln scoreboard 3-4-0 for the Yankees, 1-4-0 for the Orioles. The two teams have split the first two games. That one's driven to left field. Fair ball, it's gone. See ya. Home run, Machado. Lead is now Yankees 3, Orioles 2.
Well, you hear about it all the time, Michael. The shutdown inning. Machado getting a slider up out over the plate. It's a big inning for any pitcher. Eovaldi, you get a run, you got a lead. This is a get me over 1-0 count. Just threw a first pitch fastball, missed. Machado put it in the seats.
And there's a base hit through the right side for Caleb Joseph. That'll feel good for Machado. His mentor has long been Alex Rodriguez. He wears number 13 because of Alex. And then follows Alex's home run with one of his own.
Well, this is exactly what the Orioles are hoping for Machado to stay healthy and do what they not only the Orioles, but baseball scouts around the game see such great talent in this young man.
And a strike to David Lowe.
Good pitch right there. To me, that's pitching. You just drop a nice off-speed hook. Everybody's looking for the hard stuff, and this is a slow curve. Now, the fact that it was so slow, it wasn't well located, but the fact that it was so off-speed, David Lowe was frozen. Couldn't react to it.
Swing and a miss. Lowe down on strikes. Well, follow the New York Yankees all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet today.
You said about pitching, Kenny, that curveball, just watching him, the speed variation, and you mentioned about the location of it. There it is again. That's what you get hitters out of. Now, every hitter that steps in the box has to respect Eovaldi's 95 plus. But when you have a slider that's close to your 95, he throws his slider about 88-ish. There's not enough speed variation. I think that's the pitch, the curveball, that really will separate him, to be able to use both his curveball and his slider.
There's a base hit to center field off the bat of Scope. Moving to second is Joseph. First and second with one man out.
I keep saying 95, 96 what he's averaged last year. That's 93 down the middle. You see Scope pulling his hands in. That's nice hitting. Getting the barrel to the ball, staying center of the field.
He's quick. He's got a quick stroke. He's got some power. Very aggressive hitter.
Nice play by McCann. And they just get the one.
Well, look like Diaz he's going to try and get himself a base hit here, but good play by McCann to get it in fair territory and get the lead runner. And you see Headley at the tail end. He's faking like he's throwing to first, maybe getting the runner at second to round too far. Didn't happen, but worth a try. There's the bunt. He thought he had Headley back. Instead, it's McCann. Didn't hesitate, just rifled at the third base.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, a bunt there. He's the leadoff batter. He had to feel uncomfortable in those first two at-bats when he struck out.
You're exactly right, Michael. That's why he went to it.
Here's Everett Cabrera. And McCann grabbed it at just the right moment because that was very close to going foul.
There might have been some spin on it.
One and one.
You know, these lines actually go to the corners of the plate, and that's fair territory. You could see he got it right on the line. Fair ball. And then made the quick throw to third.
And there's got to be a little bit of a judgment for the umpire because that line does not actually travel through the batter's box.
And as the game goes on, those lines kind of get erased anyway.
They become blurred lines.
Been there before.
Grounded to first and kicks foul. One ball, two strikes. Everett Cabrera at the plate. First and second. 2 men out. Yankees leading 3-2, bottom of the fourth. Scopes on second. De Aza is on first. Good speed on the bases for the O's. Time is called. That one gets away from McCann, but the runners stay put.
Nice job by Brian McCann keeping that ball in front of him. Chair stays down, keeps it in the chest protector area.
Looked like it hit him twice. In the middle of chest protector and then up on the shoulder.
Quick conference at the mound. Want to make sure about this pitch. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 3-2 Yankees, bottom of the fourth. Pitch. Just missed.
A little slider inside after the split finger in the dirt. Yes, good call by home plate umpire Sean Barber. Just going to release the runners now.
They go, the 3-2. Fouled away.
Tough bat here with Cabrera just trying to put the ball in play, and a 97-mile-an-hour fastball running away from him. Eovaldi doesn't want to give in, but you do have their best hitter, hottest hitter, Adam Jones, on deck.
Three-two. Grounded. Foul. Third base umpire Gary Cederstrom calmly says foul.
It's almost like he's saying, calm down, everybody. And you can see Headley ranging to his right, and you can definitely see it was a foul ball. I was reading something about Headley today, about his range factor was the best in the major leagues for a third baseman. His actual range from side to side.
Was that from last year's play?
I think it was last year's play, yeah.
That allows your shortstop to shade a little bit more up the middle. 3-2. Now they have to face Adam Jones with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And that'll bring out Larry Rothschild.
Yeah, that's a gutsy pitch right there, 3-2. Not wanting the situation he's in now, bases loaded with Jones up. You throw that pitch, you trust that the pitch is just thrown over the plate. Cabrera showed a lot of patience with just fighting off the fastball. This is just a breather visit. Larry trying to calm him down, and he's thrown a lot of pitches this inning. 20 pitches up to this point. Well, it's interesting, Kenny, because you got a guy that doesn't walk. He swings early in the count. He's a good fastball hitter. You have a good fastball pitcher. And the idea of bases loaded, you're trying to establish to get ahead.
Yeah, those numbers kind of tell you what's been going on early in the season here.
96. Power against power. Those are his numbers with the bases loaded. Joseph's at third. Check that. Scopes at third. Diaz at second. Cabrera at first. 2 men out. 1-1.
That's the one that Jones has been known to chase in the past. Al, you double up on this pitch?
I would. This is a weakness for Adam Jones. Swings at a pitch way out of the zone.
And this is where you thought on Monday Michael Pineda made the mistake not going to this pitch low and away.
You know, the danger of missing in. Now, this is a different fastball. Eovaldi, one of the better fastballs in the game, but I would stay away. You have 2 pitches here. That pitcher's pitch.
Inside with the fastball. Also set up very late so that Diaz could not give location to Jones.
Yeah, remember Jorge Posada doing that. And if you're going to miss in. Pineda missed out over the plate and didn't get the ball back.
So now this is interesting, guys, because you got a fastball in. You look his slider away. Does he double up inside? Yes. That's a gutsy pitch.
Got to get it in there.
Fastball in, missed, and then there it is right there, Ken.
Just about right to the glove.
Perfect location.
Now, why is he staying away from the slider away? Just the fear of hanging it?
You know, the scouting report is what it is, Mike, and it's hard in off the plate. You see Eovaldi, it's not just straight. He's got some action that moves into the righty. I just like that doubled up fastball. Creates a little doubt now for Adam Jones. I think he go to the slider away.
High fly ball, center field. Ellsbury's there, and he'll make the play. as Eovaldi escapes major damage. Machado with a home run, but the Orioles leave the bases loaded. 3-2, we go to the fifth. Look at the way Eovaldi won after Adam Jones.
Yeah, let's take a look pitch by pitch, because it was a big moment here in this 3-2 game so far. Fastball away, big cut by Adam Jones. Tried to go upstairs, missed away. That was a slider. He said, man, it looked like he looked bad on it. Fastball in, could have locked him up, and this is a good pitch here. He doubled up with the fastball in, and this slider not as good as the one he swung and missed on. But I believe those two fastballs in, Kenny, really set up that slider, because he just missed it.
It sets up just a modicum of doubt in a hitter's mind, and that's all you need. If you're not totally committed, you don't really get it, the pitcher doesn't make a big enough mistake, you're not going to hit.
Well, Kenny, Didi Gregorius just did what you said he should try to do. He ran the hands up the bunt. Bigelow T scoreboard, 3-2. The Yankees lead as we start the fifth. There's a ground ball and through for a base hit. So Gregorius picks up a single.
And a leadoff single with that. You know, I'm watching Manny Machado when these left-handed hitters come up. Now he's going to be in a little bit closer now because he was running first, but he was back when Gregorius was up, and it's a good thing that if the ball had been a strike, I believe he was going to try and push it down the third baseline. But I think Manny is in the daring mood. He's that good that he can charge quickly and throw on the run, maybe better than any third baseman in the league.
Here's Ellsbury, 1 for 2. Doubled over the head of Jones in the third. Came around to score a run. There's a strike. So a much better start for Norris than his first start. He came into this game with a 24.00 ERA.
I believe he gave up 8 runs in 1 inning to the Toronto Blue Jays. That'll do a number on anybody's ERA.
Now, you do not steal against Bud Norris. You just don't. And you have to realize it. 9 base runners were caught stealing last season against him. 1 shy of baseball's high.
You know, you actually have 2 pitchers in the game tonight to hold the runners well. Eovaldi hasn't allowed a stolen base in his last 20 starts. and only 1 in his last 44. He must have a quick move.
He does.
Yeah.
And that's pretty amazing when you consider hard-throwing right-hander.
And plus, Michael, he gave up the most hits in the National League last year, so that's a lot of people on base. And speaking of that, how about John Ryan Murphy last night throwing runners out? What did he get, 2 of them?
2.
Very impressive throws.
You mean Monday?
2 nights ago.
It was? Yeah, okay.
1-2.
Don't tell me they're all starting to run together already.
Yes, they are. They run together, but not on him.
Yeah. There's John Ryan.
The role of a backup catcher. I mean, offense. You get offense from your backup catcher. Great bonus. Catch a good game. Serve as another pitching coach. And throw runners out.
High drive down the right field line, but it hooks foul.
We're going to take a look at John Ryan Murphy on defense here. Orioles attempting to steal. 1 bird done. This one was impressive because the runner had a good jump. That was Adam Jones. And you speak about defense and getting some offense, he's hitting 300.
One-two count on Ellsbury. Now Meredith's more impressed Joe Girardi than just that, right?
Yeah, obviously that being able to throw out Adam Jones was impressive for Joe Girardi, and that was the obvious play. But the way he caught Michael Pineda, Joe Girardi was sure to comment on that after the game, saying the way his ball was moving that day, John Ryan blocked about 10 to 15 balls that could have gone by him. And I spoke with John Ryan about that, and he said, it's a difficult assignment. I was moving a lot to the left, a lot to the right. I certainly felt it the next day, but you like when a pitcher has that type of movement on his ball.
And when your manager is a former catcher, that's wealthy praise.
It's good compliment.
Yeah. Yeah, Norris has a quick move too. You can see it almost, he kind of lulls you to sleep and boom, he's over at first base.
A different time in which he throws, not just come set and throw over. He's not set and then boom. Pitcher's getting patterns.
Tough at bat. Corey Ellsbury.
This is the long foul ball off the bat of Jacoby Ellsbury. It's twisting foul.
Yeah, you flip the bat, you think it's gone.
You start flipping the bat too much, and the bat won't be the thing that gets flipped next time up.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Check the swing, but no, said Cedarstrom. He went around. And Ellsbury stares down, and now we'll go to the Yankee dugout carrying a strikeout.
Well, good slider right here. You see the break of the wrist, and I think he did go. Gary Cedarstrom, that's all that mattered.
These type of calls, they make me think of the all-time NBA great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who, when he played so long, eventually he set the all-time record for fouls. He said they were all bad calls. Greatest scorer in NBA history. From New York City.
Lou Alcindor.
Yeah, Power Memorial High School.
There's a strike to Headley. 1-1. Pitch inside.
Good take by Headley there. Just didn't even whisper it, swinging at that breaking ball in. Now he's got himself set up. 2 balls and a strike. Head on the count. Might be time to be open for business. Nope. Now you've opened wider for business now.
Saw 3 sliders in a row. Fastball count. Norris being careful in the sense of making the pitch and not worrying that if you miss and you get behind and you walk them, not that you want to walk guys, just start over.
Headley was taking off the guard, thinking it was ball 4.
Maybe it wasn't tight enough.
I think he thinks it was up. Let's see if this is high.
I think he thinks the strike zone's not tight enough, Kenny.
Oh, well. What can you do? Let's see if the Yankees send Gregorius here. Yep.
They do. Strike 3. Throw. Not in time. Gregorius steals second. No one's covering third. But hustling over is Bud Norris. And we'll hustle out now to Bob Lorenz for an update. Thank you, Bob. So we will monitor that. They need to win. Pacers need to lose.
Imagine a whole season coming down to 1 game. I've been there.
Here's Carlos Beltran, a 2-run home run, a 2-run double. That was almost a 3-run home run in the third. Hit off the top of the wall in right center. Waves through that pitch. 0-1. What year did it come down to the final game for you, Ken?
In 1982, we had to win 4 straight games from Milwaukee Brewers, a team that was ahead of us, to win, and we won the first 3 and lost on the last day. We tied them and then lost.
Happened to you, Al. You played a 1-game playoff against the Reds, which you pitched, and many people say it's the best game you ever pitched.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Well, 163rd game, 1999. I was either going to pitch in that game in Cincinnati or game 1 against Randy Johnson in Arizona.
One. Popped up. Joseph gives it a look. It's out of play.
The compelling 1-game playoffs. Fans love it. Players don't.
Well, I didn't sleep well that whole week. I think we went 27-7 down the stretch just to get tied going into the last game.
And Kenny, you had it set up. You had Jim Palmer on the mound the last game, right?
Yeah, we did.
And one of the few times he didn't come through. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball down the right field line into the seats.
Yeah, Milwaukee had Don Sutton pitching that day, so they had a pretty good option.
2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. Made us tougher the next year. We won the World Series.
Scope in shallow right for Beltran. Fouls it off the other way as Orioles shifting for the Yankees switch hitter.
It's interesting how they set up defensively. Michael mentioned the infield shift, but the outfield is straight away, which tells you they feel that Beltran, and he hits it in the air, he's capable of hitting it well just about anywhere in the outfield. So they're spread out evenly in the outfield, but they feel if he pulls it in the infield, it's going to be on the ground. He's going to roll over.
That's a tough take right there. Fastball in, and Sean Barber, home plate umpire, has been pretty liberal, but that's a good call.
Yeah, Barber cutting it close, huh?
Missed outside.
This has been a good at bat for Beltran again. He's fought it to a full count. Once again, with the base open, it's not an automatic heater.
And especially fresh on his mind, the fastball that Beltran almost took it out right center in his last at bat. Yep.
It's good at bat. Pass the baton to Mark Teixeira.
Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, will talk with Bud Norris. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, New York City FC is back in action on a special night as they hit the pitch for a rematch with the Philadelphia Union at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Watch New York City FC presented by Etihad Airways starting tomorrow night at 7 only on Yes. Showalter had never known Wallace before he hired him. Now he swears by him. Thinks he's one of the best pitching coaches he's ever been around.
Dave Wallace with the Mets, and I agree. He's very good and been around the games. Really have said served the game in different capacities, not only just pitching coach. I see Brad Brock warming up in the Orioles bullpen.
Check swing, foul ball by Teixeira. Is he a mechanical pitching coach? Is he a cerebral pitching coach? What does he work on more?
I would say it was more mechanics, but it was really more baseball talk, Michael. Just a good baseball guy. And, it was beyond just where your arm is, where you foul through and all that. It was about understanding what you were all about. And that's what I liked about Dave Wallace. He knew what your strengths were and what your weaknesses were and really stayed positive. A big curveball on the outside part of the plate.
Well, Eovaldi had a 25 pitch inning in the bottom of the fourth. Now Norris, this will be the 28th pitch of the inning here in the top of the fifth. Moving up on 100. The 0-2. Foul off.
That's a high pitch count within the inning. That's what you look for. For me, the pitch counts within the innings are what's more vital or critical than the overall number. Because when you have stressful innings like this that Bud Norris is going through, you got to make the pitch, and every pitch matters, especially here in a 3-2 game, even though you're only in the fifth inning. Talk about the high stress pitches. It's a different mindset. It's a different way a pitcher releases, and pulls down on a breaking ball or tries to get a little extra on the fastball.
Two. Got the fastball by him. So he strikes out 3 Yankees, but has to do a lot of work to get there as the Yankees strand 2. We're halfway through. The Yankees up 3-2. Season, it's Masahiro Tanaka bobblehead night, the first one of the 2015 collectible series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Nice tie, Al. Better bobblehead.
Have you seen the commercial with Tanaka? That is cute, right? Have you seen it?
Yes, it's good.
It is good. With the bobblehead.
Travis Snyder takes outside. 3-2 Yankees lead on the Bigelow T scoreboard. Did they ever make a bobblehead of you, Al?
Yes.
How many do you have?
A couple.
High fly ball, right field. Beltran dressed back. He's there.
They didn't have bobbleheads when I was playing, but there were some pitchers made your head bobble.
Oh, I could say that about hitters. Quick snap of the neck. You got a bobblehead?
They don't have enough plastic to make mine.
No, seriously, they do broadcasters. I see bobbleheads.
We don't do broadcasters like that.
That is a big head.
Okay, Beetlejuice.
We have it size 8?
No. It's a 7 3/8. It's a long head. It's not big. Kevin Mensch was an 8. Arabu was an 8.
You're not a 7 3/8.
Well, let's make a bet.
I will. You're 5/8.
On a bad, big hair day, it's 7.5. Playing the role of Paul O'Neill is Al Leiter tonight.
Oh, man. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So you're going to start a movement, Al, to get a K bobblehead for next year on the docket?
No.
2-2. Strike 3. 96 down the middle. Davis down looking. Davis had a lot of Ks in this series.
That's 8 of them now in this series alone. Well, that was right down the chute. Had something on it.
Here's Machado. One and 0. Machado with a home run his last time up.
Depending on what has happened with some other hitters in the league in ball games today, Davis is now taking over the league lead and striking out 14 times.
He's had more Ks than show up at my family reunion. Headley deep at third, close to the line.
Just missed.
That was 97. I think that was his best fastball of the night.
You know, here you get 2 quick outs. Eovaldi does and gets behind a fastball just off the plate. You see Brian McCann pulling the glove back.
And this is outside. So Machado walks. And that'll bring up Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, that's a frustrating walk for Nathan Eovaldi. You get 2 quick outs. You get the big strikeout with Davis. Trying to keep that pitch count relatively low. You got a chance to go deeper in the game.
I don't know how much deeper he's going to go. He's up to 92.
Yeah.
You know Joe Girardi wants to get him through 5 with the lead. So there's a chance to pick up a victory. Yeah, it looks like there's some stirring going on in the Yankee bullpen.
That breaking ball in there.
Caleb Joseph's had a good series against the Yankees. Yesterday 2 for 3. The first game he was 2 for 4.
Good stop to keep that runner at first base by McCann. You spoke of Caleb Joseph having a good series. And earlier we spoke Ivan Nova trying to come back from Tommy John surgery. Well, it applies to Baltimore's catcher, Matt Wieters, who's down at extended spring training, and he's beginning to throw a little bit, but he's hitting too. And so the Orioles feel that they were talking about sometime in May he might be ready to come back.
Squib the other way. Foul ball. Chris Martin up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees lead 3-2, bottom of the 5th. See what happened here with Teixeira.
Well, he has to reach across the run. Looked like he just lost his balance and took the tumble, but he held on to the throw, and that's the important thing. Looked like his left foot slipped on the dirt as he was reaching for the ball.
There's a base hit to center field. Going to third is Machado. The throw. Dropped by Headley. Moving to second is Joseph.
With 2 outs, Machado tested the arm of Ellsbury. See Ellsbury slight right center. By the time Machado gets to the bag, they get the ball at the same time. Headley holds the baseball. I think he may have gotten him. Take a look at the Mercedes-Benz Yesmo. Just did not get it in the glove. Would have been close. Aggressive base running by Machado. And also trailer on that is Caleb Joseph to follow up in second base.
So they leave in Eovaldi with Martin ready. Obviously, you need to pitch 5 innings to get the win. The furthest thing, obviously, from Joe Girardi's mind. And the pitch to low is a strike.
Yeah, I'm not so sure Martin's quite ready yet, though. And so far tonight, he's handled low pretty well. He's fouled out and struck out. And he's just off the disabled list last night.
The 0-1. 1-1. Now 1 strike away from getting out of this jam.
I mentioned earlier in the game about Scott Coolbaugh, the hitting coach for the Orioles, about this pitch and every bat, and not only every bat but every pitch. This is the pitch that Nathan Eovaldi's got to make. The pitch counts up to the 100. Probably his last pitch, maybe last batter.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Nathan Eovaldi as the Orioles strand 2. Got it with the breaking ball as we go to the 6th. 3-2 Yanks. Brought to you in part by Chrysler. Visit Chrysler.com or your local dealer today. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. Everybody's wearing number 42. As the Orioles make the Verizon call to the bullpen, as Larry Rothschild has a long conversation with Nathan Eovaldi. So Bud Norris is done, and Brad Brock comes in relief. The Oriole bullpen has not been great only major league team whose bullpen has been charged with at least 1 run in every one of its games this season. And that was the strength of the O's last year. So that streak, you see the Benjamin Moore scoreboard, 3-2 Yankees, is 4 shy of the longest streak to begin a season in Major League history. And it wasn't too long ago. Last year's Astros, their bullpen gave up a run in each of its first 12 games. David Carpenter's up for the Yankees.
Yeah, you think about the Orioles last year, Kenny, the bullpen was one of their strengths.
Yeah.
I know the Yankees now have Andrew Miller, who was a big part of their bullpen, but to see them struggle this early is not very Oriole-like. Their ERA of 5.91. Only the Twins have a worse ERA, bullpen respectively. And conversely, the Yankees have been great. They're 3rd in the major leagues, bullpen ERA at 1.73.
And the 2-2. Oh, tough play. But continues on.
Hang with him.
Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Joseph. McCann down on strikes. Here's Alex Rodriguez. He's 2 for 2. He's singled to second, or singled to right field in the second, and then hit a booming solo home run deep into the seats and left. That was in the 4th, his 2nd home run of the year.
Well, let's go back to the 4th inning. This one had some airtime, folks. Look at the walkway. Those are people casually walking by with sodas and hot dogs in their hands, thinking that they're safe that far away. That all of a sudden they get a lookout.
The 2-0. 2-1. Now 2-2 as Alex trying to go deep again.
By the way, that was the 32nd home run for Alex Rodriguez in this ballpark, the most of any hitter. He was underneath that one. Opposing hitter, I should say. The guys in the gray uniforms.
Gray pants, at least.
Missed with that fastball, just missed.
Brad Brock, a crossfire pitcher, throws slightly across his body. That ball just missed on the outside corner.
They Rod works a walk with 1 out.
Another good at bat. So all fastballs till the last pitch. Changeup.
Now Brock might have got scared off, or the catcher Joseph might have got scared off on that swing and a miss. Let's change the program right at the end.
Pitch to Drew. 1-0. Ground ball to first. Grabbed by Davis. Goes to second one. On to first. It's a double play. 3-6-3 to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Because of the DP, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Those were the thrills of the Yankees, presented by Pepsi. Upload your Yankees pride using hashtag YankeesThrill for your chance to win an exclusive Yankee experience. Go to Yankees.com/YankeesThrill for more information. All of those highlights add up to Yankees 3, Orioles 2 on the Benjamin Moore scoreboard. Orioles about hit the Yankees, but the Yankee hits have been a bit more timely. So that's going to do it for Nathan Eovaldi, as the Yankees call to the bullpen brings in David Carpenter. So far, so good. And 4 games, 5 1/3 innings. No ERA. Well, he's got one at 0. Here is Jonathan Scope to start off the bottom of the 6th. That one's drilled deep to left center field. There it goes. See ya. Tie game. Home run by Scope.
That's number 3 on the season for their number 9 hitter, Scope, and it's a hanging breaking ball. And as I said earlier, he's got the power. He's already got a grand slam this year. And you can see that one's squared up, folks.
Well, Eovaldi now gets a no decision. And the Yankee bullpen, which has been so great in the early going, will now have the decision in their hands.
Hanging slider. Scope last year, 16 home runs. People around the Orioles say he's a 25 home run guy.
That one is looped and over the head of Gregorius into left center for a base hit for De Aza.
Good fastball in on the hands here. De Aza just fighting it enough to get over Gregorius' head. Frustrating hit if you're David Carpenter.
Here is Everett Cabrera. Catch with Teixeira.
Yeah, these are the throwovers, Michael, to see if Cabrera is going to turn around sooner to reveal that he's sacrificed bunting here. You see Headley up.
Also, the Yankee bullpen's up too.
Bunted in front of the plate. McCann takes the out at first as De Aza moves to second, so the sacrifice is successful. Score at 2-3.
That's how you draw it up. Give yourself up, get the runner over. You would expect that Cabrera is a pretty good bunter, been a leadoff hitter, a top of the lineup hitter for most of his career. And you can see McCann just pouncing on it, and accurate throw to first.
Well, by having that bunt, you've pretty much taken the bat out of Adam Jones's hand, as they will intentionally walk him.
Next two hitters are scheduled left-handed hitters, and the Yankees have Justin Wilson up in the bullpen. Now the Orioles can counter. They've got Delman Young and Steve Pearce, right-handers, on the bench. We'll see how this plays out if Joe Girardi decides to go to the bullpen. You know, the fans are booing, but this is a baseball move here, and one that Buck Showalter kind of set in motion by laying down the bunt.
So Girardi will go to the bullpen. Let's see if Showalter goes to his bench and brings in a right-hander. Against division rivals as they head to Tampa to begin a weekend series with Evan Longoria and the Rays. Pre-game coverage on Yes starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State Ford Yankees pregame right here on Yes. The line on Nathan Eovaldi, 9 strikeouts, but he will not get a decision as David Carpenter served up a home run to Jonathan Scope and leaves first and second with 1 out for Justin Wilson. Now, they brought in Wilson because Travis Snyder and Chris Davis are due up next, but Travis Snyder will not bat as Buck Showalter will send up a very good pinch hitter in Delman Young.
Especially, Michael, against left-handed pitching. There's only one at bat in the history between Wilson and Delman Young, 0 for 1, so there's not much there.
I think we mentioned this the other night. He was 10 for 20 as a pinch hitter last year. That's pretty darn good. Very difficult to come off the bench and be productive.
And a strike from Wilson. A .333 career pinch hitter. Through for a base hit. Diaza rounds third. He's heading home. The throw, not in time. A pinch hit RBI single for Delman Young. And the Orioles now lead 4-3.
That's why Delman Young's on this team, occasionally to play the outfield, mostly DH, but also come in off the bench, and he just drags this one through the hole. Not a bad pitch, down and in, it just gets it by Gregorius, and Baltimore's taking the lead.
Pitch to Davis outside, 1-0. So after 2.5 innings, the Yankees had a 3-1 lead. After 3.5 innings, it was 3-1. Then it became 3-2, and now it's 4-3.
That's fastball from Justin Wilson right there, and Chris Davis has struggled early part of this season. 14 strikeouts.
Two and two.
Just reaching back, and 96 miles an hour. Here it is, hit it. It's this ball here down the zone, but middle of the plate. It's really late.
He's got a long swing. Everything has to go right. The timing has to be very good. Lately, it has not been.
Served into left center field. It is a base hit. Splits the outfielders and goes to the wall. Jones scores. Delman Young scores. It's a 2-run double for Davis. And the Orioles lead 6-3.
Fastball out over the plate. Let's check it again. It might have been something off speed, but it wasn't well located. Yep, breaking ball. Kind of hung. They just blew one by him.
Well, the Yankee bullpen, which has been money in the early going, not doing the job here in the 6th. And now Chris Martin takes over with Manny Machado coming up. As we said, this has been a strong part of this Yankee team early, and not tonight. Tonight they crack.
Well, coming into tonight's game, Michael, the 3rd best ERA in baseball, 1.73. The Yankee bullpen pitchers were.
So Chris Davis is at second. He has 3 ribbies tonight. Here's Machado. 1 for 2 with a walk, the 1 a home run. And the 1-0. 2-0.
Chris Martin came in last night, did a nice job. 2 strikeouts in a scoreless inning, 3 up, 3 down.
He's done a nice job all season long since he's been here. You saw his numbers, 6 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings. Then another pitcher, 95. Pretty good slider. Turned him loose, 3 balls and no strikes with just 1 out. And Buck Showalter trying to get Manny Machado going. Now he's had a home run tonight. Now he's got a 4-game hitting streak going. So after I wouldn't call it a disastrous start. It's only April. He went 0 for 15 to begin the season. Still rolling around on the interstates. But one good day, that'll change that.
Especially early in the year, right? Averages go up and down easily.
Still one out. Davis at second. A 3-2 count on Machado. Driven deep to right field. Beltran has room in front of the track. He makes the play. Tagging is Davis. He'll go to third. And that'll bring up Caleb Joseph. Joseph tonight, 2 for 3. 6-3, Orioles lead the Yankees. Just the bottom of the 6th inning. Joseph has made the loss of Matt Wieters a little less painful. And Kenny mentioned Wieters coming along. They hope to get him back by May. Switch hitting catcher in the final year of his contract. Joseph has filled in admirably. That's lofted into center field. Coming in as Ellsbury can make the play. A base hit for Joseph. Scoring is Davis. It's 7-3 O's.
Yankees are having trouble getting Joseph out. That's his 3rd hit tonight. 3 for 4. Look how he brings the hands in, opens the hips up quickly just to try and force enough of the barrel on the ball to drop it in front of Ellsbury. If he hits it harder, Ellsbury's going to catch it. So he hit it just right to get himself a run batted in.
Got 7 hits in these 3 games.
Yeah, he's probably the leader on the board in this series.
Here's David Lowe, 9th batter to come to the plate, and he takes a strike from Chris Morton. Lowe's 0 for 3, fouled out to third and struck out twice. Slow roller to Teixeira. Flips to Morton, and that will do it. But 5 runs on 5 hits, 1 man left. The Orioles have taken the lead 7-3 as we head to the 7th. Seven runs on 13 hits for the Orioles, and the Yankees 3-5-0. Alex Rodriguez with a long home run, his 2nd of the year. Machado and Scope have each homered for the Orioles, and Chris Davis has come alive despite 8 strikeouts in the series tonight. 2 for 3, a double, and 3 runs batted in. Well, now the Oriole bullpen, which has been somewhat porous in the early going, is going to try to hold it right here. They bring in, that's still Brad Brock, as Chris Young will lead off the 7th inning. Swing and a miss. Oh, 2 on Young. Young's 0 for 2 tonight. Popped to second and grounded to third. The 0-2. High fly ball. Left center. Adam Jones puts it away for the first out. And that brings up Didi Gregorius.
Now, Brad Brock is from Freehold, New Jersey. You know somebody from there.
Bruce. Freehold.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
One and one. Gregorius lofts one to left field. Low is there. 2 outs.
I don't know if that's Springsteen. There's 2 high schools. I think this is the non-Springsteen Freehold High School.
Okay. But Brock might have been that guy who threw the speedball by him.
Make you look like a fool. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what they have in their brochure. We're the non-Springsteen High School.
Yeah.
Here's Ellsbury. 2 outs, nobody on. And a strike. Oh, 2. Brock throwing strikes with a 7-3 lead here in the top of the 7th inning.
Yeah, he's working on getting his ERA down. He came in with his 0 for 9. That's an emergency swing by Jacoby Ellsbury, just spoiling it.
Yankees trying to win their first series of the year. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Split the first 2 here. This is the rubber game. Right now the Orioles up 7-3. As Ellsbury down on strikes and the Yankees down in order. The end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. 7-3 Orioles lead. That's a problem when you only last 5 innings. You're asking the bullpen to get 12 outs. That's a lot to ask. And as Jack just said, they didn't get one before the lead was gone.
Oh, yeah. No, Jack is exactly right. I'll tell you, you get a 5-inning. If you get a 5-inning win, it's total luck in the sense of you didn't do your job. In my opinion, a starting pitcher should do 7 innings. To rely on so many outs for your relievers to preserve a win is pretty hard.
Well, here's Brandon Pinder. 2 games at AAA, and this is a big moment for this young man. It's his major league debut. Yankees have used that last spot in the bullpen, bring people up, outright them, bring people up, and they're always going to have a fresh arm that will match up best with the team that they're playing and the game that they're playing that day.
Young man from California. Corona, California, to be exact.
And Scope goes the other way, drives it into right center, and a nice running play by Ellsbury. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Pinder.
Ellsbury showing off the wheels and closing the gap in right center. Scope's already had himself a 2-hit night and a walk. So he is shut down by the Yankees for the first time in this game. Turning it on, tracking, and Beltran giving away. When he says I got it, he's the captain in center field.
Caught that in the heel of the glove. Alejandro De Aza fouls it back. 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Pinder.
Big right-handed pitcher, Brandon Pinder. Power arm, another power arm the Yankees have coming up from the minor leagues, 93 to 96. Range for his fastball. Worked on his curveball. Had a slider, was a little bit tight and close to his fastball velocity. Take a little off his breaking ball.
That one is ripped into right center field. And that's going to be a base hit. Splits the outfielders and it goes to the wall. Will De Aza go for 3? Yes, he will. And he's going to make it standing.
Well, De Aza fills that column. This is his first triple of the year. And you can see that Ellsbury playing a little bit towards left center is going to have a long way to go to get this one. Meanwhile, De Aza hightailing around the bases as this one's headed for the gap. His first triple of the season.
Yankees have to bring the infield in. Here's Everett Cabrera, runner at third with 1 out. Do you even know where you were in your major league debut on the mound now?
Yankee Stadium?
I mean, were the legs like rubber?
Oh, yeah. Scared to death. Really. Nervous beyond.
And they had the squeeze on, and it's caught. That's going to be a double play. So they try to bunt the run home, but Cabrera bunted it right up in the air for the 1-5 double play. We'll go to the 8th at 7-3-0s.
time for Friday's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. Adam Warren will get the ball for the Yankees. He did suffer a loss in his season debut, but Warren really pitched pretty well over 5 1/3. He allowed just 1 earned run and really had some trouble with his pitch count. He's going to try to be a little bit more economical next time out. For the Rays, it'll be right-hander Nathan Carnes, who picked up a win his first time out. His ERA approaching 5, though. So the Yankees have tomorrow off, and then Friday they head to Tampa, where Adam Warren will get the ball.
Well, thank you, Meredith. They still have a couple of innings here in Baltimore to try to pull this one out. They're down 7-3, and a new Oriole pitcher is Tommy Hunter, who served up that grand slam to Stephen Drew. Hyundai scoreboard 7-3. A grand slam separates the two teams right now. Orioles lead. The first pitch to Headley is a strike. That one is served into left field. It's going to be a base hit in front of Lowe. So Headley picks up a single to start off the 8th.
By the way, the Rays do not have a day off tomorrow. They play tomorrow night in Toronto. So they're going to get in very early in the morning on Friday.
Toronto kind of bludgeoning the Rays 12-3 in the 9th inning tonight. Beltran hits a high fly ball deep right center, but De Aza has room and puts it away for the first out.
You remember what I said earlier about watching hitters and how they make out, how they hit the ball. Beltran, solid double tonight. He grounded out hard to third, and he just missed this, hitting this one in the seats. He's swinging the bat much better. Maybe starting to come around after an early season drought here. Just underneath it. You can almost sense a hot streak coming. That's what I'm trying to say.
Good swings, hard hit balls. Yep.
Pitch outside to Teixeira. Count 2-2. Teixeira 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts, sandwiching a ground ball short. 3 infielders on the right side, and he's worked the count full. Orioles need to get Tommy Hunter straightened out, as he did struggle on Monday and served up that home run to Drew. Big arm out of their bullpen. That one is driven into right center field. It is a base hit, and it gets by De Aza. Teixeira is going for 2. He makes it. Moving to third is Headley, and the Yankees threatening here in the 8th. Second and third, 1 man out.
Yeah, Tommy Hunter came in tonight. You saw the numbers, an ERA of 13.50, and he's given up 2 hits and a just missed. Running the count to 3-2. And laying one in there is never really a good thing. And you can see Teixeira with a 2-base hit. And for Mark, that's his 3rd double of the year to go along with 3 home runs.
This is a big spot here for Brian McCann. He has been struggling. He's 0 for 3 tonight, hitting an even 200. Starts him off with a breaking ball strike. 3 infielders on the right side, with the second baseman Scope playing in short right field. That one is driven deep to left center field. Going back, Jones, still back, and he makes a beautiful catch. Tagging is Headley. Teixeira moves to third, but Jones might have saved a big inning as the Yankees plate their 4th run.
Yet another hard hit ball by a Yankee, and this one, well, we told you earlier, he's a Gold Glove center fielder, and he's flashing me a reason why. Looks like a wide receiver going on a deep route, hauls it in, and as Michael said, might have saved a very big inning.
3 consecutive Gold Gloves for Adam Jones, and the jump was really what was impressive on that.
You can smile when you play center field like that. Here is Alex Rodriguez. Teixeira's at third. 2 men out. That one gets away from Joseph. Here comes Teixeira. He scores just ahead of the throw to Tommy Hunter. Not much room between home plate and the backstop, and that's what made the play close. Also, Teixeira's not that fast, but a wild pitch. Now the Yankees trail 7-5.
Well, the ball kicks off this brick wall behind home plate. Joseph actually made a play of it.
And Teixeira barely touched home plate. I guess he dragged his toe across home plate.
He did. Yeah, you're right, Michael. Barely touched it. I think he took a little umbrage to the swipe tag by Tommy Hunter. Kind of stared at him a little bit.
You almost wonder why Teixeira didn't slide there. That's why Tommy Hunter was doing the swipe tag.
When in doubt, slide.
So the Yankees have closed the gap to 2 at 7-5-0s. Count 1-0 on A-Rod, who is 2 for 2 with a walk. Breaking ball strike. Brian Mattis is up. Dylan Betances for the Yanks. You can see Hunter could still bring it at 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think for Hunter, Michael, the feel for his slider. Alex was late on that because he saw 3 sliders prior to that pitch. He's got a good arm.
And the 2-2. Strike 3. A-Rod down looking. But the Yankees creep closer. 2 runs, 2 hits. Nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-5-0s. Back in the Yes Studio to break down the series finale in Baltimore. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz gets the reaction from the clubhouse and the manager's report. It's all coming up. It's right here on Yes. Well, the Yankees will try to hold it right here in the bottom of the 8th. They scored 2 in the top of the inning. Now it's 7-5-0s, and they will go to Dellin Betances. Shows you that ERAs are somewhat misleading. His ERA is 0. He has not pitched well. 6 walks in 3 games and 3 strikeouts.
You would expect the walks and strikeout numbers to be reversed.
Now he'll face Adam Jones. Jones 1 for 3. Intentional walk and a run scored. Hyundai scoreboard 7-14-0 leads 5-7-0. Line right at Gregorius for the first out. Almost knocked him over. It was hit so hard.
Adam Jones has not made very many soft outs lately. And this is a rocket, and as Michael said, almost dragged him into left field as Gregorius gets that glove out there.
Here's Delman Young, who got a big pinch hit single in the 6th inning. Pinch hitting for Travis Snyder. That one is lined into right center field. It's going to be a base hit. Beltran gets the ball in. So Young 2 for 2.
Good hitting there. Slider. Second slider in a row from Betances. Delman Young, veteran, been around a long time, stayed on it, didn't try to pull off. So that slider was up in the zone. You know, looking at Betances' numbers, really is that pitch that has been different. I know his velocity's down, but the strike ratio with his slider has not been good so far early in going here this year.
Chris Davis had somewhat of an awakening tonight. He has struck out twice, but he's also had 2 hits. And he's driven in 3.
Another strike, 1 and 2. And he strikes him out for the second out.
Just a steady dose of curveballs. 4 in a row, and here's a good one. You see the 12-6 break. Davis committed out front. Nice pitch.
And here is Machado.
Al, his fastball, speaking of Betances, has been sitting at 94, 95 miles an hour, which is a pretty good fastball, but it's not what we saw last year. It might be something mechanical.
Well, he's got, you could see his delivery. It's a lot of moving parts. His landing leg is open stride, meaning steps toward first base dugout, which is a little unusual. It means he's exposed a little bit. He is off velocity wise by about 2 miles an hour. I think with a guy like Dellin Betances, Kenny, is that, in his minor league numbers when he was starting, and walks were an issue. And I think if it becomes where he starts thinking about the mechanics because he doesn't have a feel and he's not throwing strikes, etc., then that's when it snowballs.
Okay.
Because this isn't a conventional easy delivery. Big leg kick opens up.
6'8".
6'8", big man. There's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. So the more I would say that he doesn't think mechanics and just try to simplify it, the better.
Okay.
Count 3-2. So that's going to release Young.
That's a 3-1 breaking ball. That's obviously Machado looking fastball, but throws a breaking ball off the plate and gets a swing out of it.
Throwing a lot of breaking balls. That one's fouled back.
It's about 50-50, Michael. In his last outing, first game of this series, he threw 32 pitches, 15 sliders, 17 fastballs, and that's about his ratio. And it was really his ratio last year as well. Slightly more fastballs than his slider / curveball.
And he drops a breaking ball in there for strike 3. So a good inning for Dellin Betances. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. Yankees try to rally in the 9th. It'll be the bottom of the order. They're down by 2. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. And by Blimpie. Try one of the new oven-fired artisan flatbread sandwiches. Blimpie, America's sub shop. Well, the Orioles bring in their closer, Zach Britton, and he will face the bottom of the Yankee order, starting with Stephen Drew, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Yankees down 7-5. 1-0. Three infielders on the right side for Stephen Drew. 1-1. Drew struck out in the second. Fly ball to center in the fourth. And a 3-6-3 double play in the sixth. You see the numbers on Britton, 2 for 2 in save opportunities.
He's one of the Oriole relievers that has not struggled.
Orioles have 4 men in their bullpen. out of 7 that were supposed to be big-time starters and instead have become very effective relievers. Britton, Mattis, Gausman, and Hunter.
Yeah, I think Gausman, they're still grooming him eventually to be a starter.
And plus, that streak continued tonight when Hunter gave up 2 runs, right?
Yep.
Is it up to, what, 9 now?
Yep. Strike 3. Drew down looking, and he does not like the call.
You know, it's almost a surprise pitch. Britton throws so many fastballs, they look like power sinkers. And here you see him block up. He has called, the home plate umpire, Sean Barber, the high strike. Manny Machado, the end of the last inning, did not like the high pitch. Ball is slightly above the belt.
Well, here's Chris Young. Chris is 0 for 3 tonight. And he shows bunt, takes inside. He's got Machado close to the line and maybe 5 or 7 feet behind the bag. Saw Gregorio Petit on deck to pinch hit for Gregorius.
Yeah, I'm watching Manny Machado, and Michael, as you said, he's back. And like he's almost daring you to bunt, but as the pitch is being thrown, he's creeping towards home plate. So he's moving in the right direction in case the hitter wants to lay down a bunt.
3 infielders on the left side for the righty swinging Young, the 1-1. 1-2, and Young looks back quickly at Sean Barber.
Now the home plate umpires had a pretty big zone. Now you see that ball, it looks good. As far as that angle, let's see here. This will be a good shot right on the corner.
Yeah, it's a strike.
And the pitch. Just got a piece to stay alive and foul it back. After the game, the Yankees head to St. Pete. Tomorrow is an off day, and then they begin a 3-game set on Friday night against the Rays. And then the road trip gets tougher. 4 games in Detroit starting on Monday. So the Yankees in a stretch where 25 of 35 games are on the road.
There's that power sinker at 95 miles an hour.
Yankees trying to rally here in the 9th. They're down 7-5. And the 2-2. Got a piece of Joseph there.
Yep, that'll make any catcher hop around a little bit.
And the 2-2 again. Line to left field. That is going to be a base hit. Cutting over is Lowe. Cuts the ball off. And Young is going for 2. And he makes it. So the Yankees are alive. A double with 1 out.
Well, Chris Young, his last at bat to keep a hitting streak going. He got 1 centered. And he did miss it. Double, and it extends his hitting streak to 5 consecutive games. And a hustle double.
Very good at bat. Fought off some pitches, fouled off some tough sinking fastballs from Britton. Got a pitch up. Nice at bat.
The Yankees have limited options from the right side tonight. You've got the man at the plate, Petit, and then you have John Ryan Murphy, your backup catcher. So they go to Petit, pinch hitting for Gregorius. 1 man out. Ellsbury's on deck. And down goes Petit.
Yeah, you can see he's wearing a guard, so this has happened before. Got a little sink on it, and he gets right on top of it and slams it right down into his leg.
0-2. Petit, 2 hits and 10 at-bats with the Yankees. Big spot right here in the 9th. Young's at second. Wastes a fastball up and away. Yankees won on Monday. Orioles won last night. Comes down to the 9th inning tonight. 7-5 Baltimore. Britton trying to close it down. And the pitch. Foul the other way. Yankees got Petit when Brendan Ryan went down at the end of spring training. And now in a big spot. And the 1-2. Got him on a breaking ball. Yankees down to their final out.
After so many fastballs, Kenny, there's a slider up in the zone.
Wasn't a real good one, but it got the job done.
Similar to one that Stephen Drew took to start this inning that was called a strike by Sean Barber, the home plate umpire.
Yeah, element of surprise.
Now down to their final strike. And he broke his back. Chris Young at second. Ellsbury 3 for 14 with a home run, lifetime against Britton. Britton looking for his 3rd save. 0-2 count. And the pitch. Just missed. Tried to get the fastball on the outside corner. Barber did not give it to him.
Here's another look, and just off. You saw Caleb Joseph move that glove with just a hint. Barber didn't fall for it.
Good call.
And the 1-2. 2-2. If Ellsbury gets on, Headley will come to the plate. Crowd of 23,409, most standing, the 2-2. Count is full at 3-2.
Well, he's battled back from 0-2 to 3-2.
Here's the payoff. Way inside, and Ellsbury goes from 0-2 to a walk and passes the baton to Chase Headley.
Tough at bat. Good at bat by Ellsbury.
So they have Britton, the closer, up to 22 pitches. Headley tonight, 1 for 3. Walk, 2 runs scored. Young's at second. Ellsbury is at first. 2 men out. 9th inning. Yanks down 2. Up and away. Beltran on deck. Grounded up the middle. Scope is there. And he beats Ellsbury to the bag. And the Orioles beat the Yankees 7-5. Well, the Yankees gave it a run against Britain. But Headley could not get the big hit. Grounds out to second base. Gets the force. And that does it as the Yankees lose their 3rd straight series. All by 2 games to 1. They'll have tomorrow off. We're going to come back in just a moment, but first, we'll throw it back to the studio where Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry will set the table for the upcoming postgame. Guys?